Tashideli, Namo Buddhaya, and good evening, brothers and sisters in the Dharma. So happy that we can meet again on another Sunday evening, and welcome also to those who are here with me physically. So today is our 10th session. Today we are going to be doing meditation on mantras. So it is healing sounds, the art of mantra meditation. So, for most brothers and sisters, maybe very familiar with the mantras because mantras we have it in all spiritual traditions, Buddhism also. We also have mantras in non-Buddhist traditions. So, what is mantra, and why are we doing mantra meditation? And whether questions may arise also whether did the Buddha even teach mantra? So before we can go into all this, so I would like to request all brothers and sisters to place your palms together, single pointedly. All of us will take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. For those of us from different spiritual traditions, we can take refuge in our respective teachers, prophets, and anyone who inspires you. And we also generate the strong wish that we're going to listen to the Dharma and we're going to meditate not only for oneself but for the benefit of all living beings. Sangye Treda Toki Chonana Jangchu Bardu Daini Chapsuchi Dagi Jinso Kipi Sunam Ki Drola Pinchir Sange Drobarsho Sange Chedan Soki Chonamla Jangchu Bardu Daini Chapsuchi Dagi Jin Sogi Pi Sunam Ki Drola Pinchir Sange Drobarsho Sange Cheda Soki Chonamla Jangchu Bardo Daini Chapsuji Dagi Jin Sogi Pi Sunam Ki Drola Pinchir Sange Droparisho. Until the heart of enlightenment is reached, I and all my kind mother sentient beings, as vast as the skies, go for refuge to the Gurus, go for refuge to the Buddhas, go for refuge to the Dharma, go for refuge to the Arya Sangha from the merits accrued by practicing generosity, morality, patience, effort, meditation, and wisdom. May we become fully enlightened beings, Buddhas, to benefit all living beings. Simchen thamche deva dan deve jodan de bare jeje dunga dan dunga gi jodan de bare jeje dunga me pe deva da pa da me de bare jeje nerin chada ni da da we tanyon chen pola ne bare juruji Simchen thamche deva dan deve jodan de bare jeje dunga dan dunga gi jodan de bare jeje Nge me pe deva da pa da me de bare jeje nerin chada ni da da we Tanyom chet bola ne para juruji. Simchen tamche deva dan deve jodan de para juje dunga dan dunga gi jodan de para juji. Nge me pe deva dan pa da me de para juji nyerim chada nye dan dawe. Tanyom chet bola ne para juruji. May all beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all beings be free from suffering. And before that, and that will happen, may all beings stop creating the causes for suffering. May all sentient beings never be separated from the bliss of the true nature of mind, the joy of resting in the bliss of meditation. And may all sentient beings be equanimous, free from the extremes of attachment and aversion. Sim Chen Ki Sampada Lo Ye Jeta Jeta Wa Chechun Tun Mang Te Bai Shiki Ko Lo Ko Du. So we request the Buddha to turn the wheel of the Dharma for the sake of all sentient beings. So welcome, brothers and sisters. So my it's raining and my dog who wanted to participate cannot participate now because she's getting wet. So we have to make some alternative arrangements for her. So we always want to benefit all sentient beings. And Roxy, you will also benefit by being in the same mandala as us. So don't worry. So it's very interesting um, day for me today. This morning I went to the dog farm, Auntie Mifa's shelter, with my university students from the Nottingham Buddhist Society, and I haven't been back to the shelter for more than 9 years. I think about 9 years. Yeah, and I'm happy to see that the dogs are healthy, well taken care of, and part of my activity there was to chant some mantras for the dogs, some to give some positive vibes. So now many of you might think, what is the benefit of mantra meditation? What is it, and where is it coming from? So basically, during the Buddha's time, there was no, not really a mantra per se. Yeah, like what you see today in the Vajrayana tradition, the Mahayana tradition. So in the past, the Buddha taught parita, chanting, so some healing verses, some sacred verses to calm the mind, to soothe the mind, and also for protection against various negative forces. So this brings to mind the Karaniya Metta Sutta, where the Buddha taught the 500 monks the Metta Sutta, so that the monks can radiate loving kindness and compassion. And these short sutras are meant to give some sort of a positive effect on the mind of the person who is chanting. So many of us don't like to chant. I remember being a Sunday school teacher in Brickfields Mahavihara, and I know students, yeah, very hard to take them to the hall for chanting. So they used to try their level best to not come for chanting, and even the teachers also. Many teachers also dislike chanting. So many of us, we are very different people. Some of us come in through the door of meditation. Some of us come through the door of, basically reading the Dhamma text. So philosophy door we call it, and some come through the door of chanting. So for many people, chanting is very important, and we even have schools like in the schools of Buddhism, we have Pure Land School. Pure Land School basically is they chant Namo Amitofo, Namo Amitofo, Namo Amitofo. So they are actually chanting the Buddha Amitabha's name. And many people wonder, how is it that if we chant Buddha Amitabha's name repeatedly, repeatedly, then one can attain rebirth in the pure land of Buddha Amitabha, the pure land of Sukhavati, the land of great bliss, the land of the Western Buddha, Buddha Amitabha, the Western pure land. So there are many people, especially people who are not literate, the elderly, and very young people who may not be able to read, may not be able to meditate, may not be able to, to understand the Dharma talks, because Dharma is very deep, and many people, their karma is not ripened yet in order to to listen. Not everybody has the ability to really grasp the Dharma. You may be surprised, you think that everybody has got the same capacity. It's not true. Not many people actually have the capacity to understand the Dharma. So what can we do? So in the Mahayana tradition, mantra is skillful means, upaya kaushalya we call it. Skillful means in order to attract people, bring people, yeah, through the door of Dharma. It's an additional door of Dharma, and for those who who prefer a very simple, quick, and effective way of practicing the Dharma. There's no right, there's no wrong. It just depends on where you are in your Dharma journey. So many of us, we may be very advanced, or we like to think that we are advanced. And also sometimes we cannot understand others who cannot, who cannot grasp the Dharma very easily. So what can we do for them? So that's why uh, Mahayana tradition, the mantras came about during the first century of the Common Era in India. And there is one story of Nagarjuna, the scholar Nagarjuna in South India. So Nagarjuna, one day when he was dreaming, suddenly Vajrasattva appeared to him. And those who are in the Mahayana tradition, and Tibetan tradition will know that Vajrasattva is the Buddha who actually purifies the negative karma. So the mantra of Vajrasattva is like this. Om Vajra Sattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajra Sattva Tenupa Tishtadido me bhava Sutokayo me bhava Supokayo me bhava Anurakto me bhava Sarva Siddhi me prayatsa Sarva Karma Tsutsa me Sitam Shiriyam Kuruhu Ha ho Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata Vajrama me Munsa Vajre Bhava Mahasamaya Sattva A. So this is called the 100 syllable mantra, and it's actually quite a mouthful, and many people cannot remember. So there is a shorter one. Om Vajra Sattva Hum, Om Vajra Sattva Hum, Om Vajra Sattva Hum, Om Vajra Sattva Hum. So each syllable, whether it is the 100 syllable mantra or it is the 6 syllable mantra of the Vajra Sattva, each syllable has a meaning. And any mantra also, mantras are not meaningless. They are not merely words. They actually are enlightened sounds that actually they supposedly represent one enlightened quality. So for the Vajrasattva, when it appeared in the Nagarjuna's scholar Nagarjuna's dream, each and every syllable was meant to purify a certain negative karma of sentient beings. And that's why this mantra is highly popular today, and it's taught widely in Tibetan Buddhism. And of course, in order to recite that mantra, we need to have special transmissions from a perfectly qualified guru. We need to have the lineage, etc., etc. So it cannot be just like taught in the market like a bazaar, standing there and giving mantras away for free. So that's not how mantras work, especially not in Tibetan tradition. But there are other mantras which are more widely known, and everybody basically can recite the mantras like Om Mani Padme Hum. Many people know this mantra. This is the mantra of great compassion. This is the mantra of Avalokiteshvara Kuan Yin. So on Tuesday is Kuan Yin's birthday. So I was thinking that, and this class I also will already envisioned this class before I realized that it is actually Kuan Yin's birthday on Tuesday. So today we are going to do some exercises in mantra recitation while I tell you how it works. For those of us who are new to mantra, it is also a challenge for us to learn something new, yeah, and to see why other traditions actually they place very heavy emphasis on mantra, whether we subscribe to it or not. Sometimes it's also good to explore. When we explore, we broaden our horizons, and then we can deeply appreciate its empathy, yeah? So we can actually really appreciate and the fact that others why other people are practicing it, even if we don't make it our practice. Yeah, it's not necessary everybody has to practice mantra. So now back to the basics. So mantra, what does mantra actually mean? So man is in Sanskrit means the mind, yeah, the mind, and then tra means protect. So it's actually to protect the mind, that which protects the mind. And how can a mantra protect the mind? So today we are going to discover. So please give me 30 seconds because my computer just shut down. So let me find something and then I will start the class. I have two computers here. One is for YouTube and the other is for, yeah. So just give me 1 second. So I would like to tell you some stories about mantras. Yeah. So just to give you an example of why mantras are so important in certain Buddhist traditions. So let's look at the story of Kuan Yin. Yeah. So Kuan Yin, when the origin of Kuan Yin is from India, and Kuan Yin was called Avalokiteshvara, the one that looks, yeah, has with compassion to, and listens also with compassion towards all sentient beings. Avalokiteshvara. So basically, it has the eye of compassion. So according to one tradition, there are many stories, yeah, as to how Avalokiteshvara came about. But please don't take these stories literally. They are just meant to inspire us. Yeah? So sometimes we try to look at, like for example, medicine Buddha. We try to look at the origins of medicine Buddha, and some say that medicine Buddha comes from the lapis lazuli region of Tajikistan, where there are lapis lazuli mountains, because it's the Buddha of lapis lazuli. The color, yeah, very dark, deep blue. So that's not important. What is important is what the mantra does for your mind. So sometimes if you try to look at origin and genealogy, I think you will try for the whole life, and probably you can never verify it, yeah, because we do not know how they arose. It's oral tradition from generation to generation, and what we have, we are some stories. You can say it's legend, but doesn't matter whether it's legend or not, as long as it works for some people. So therefore we will not judge. Yeah, so it's non-judgmental. So I request brothers and sisters to today practice without questioning origins, without looking at authenticity, without judging, and just let go of any kind of questioning mind for the moment, and then enjoy the meditation. So as one of my masters, I mean, in the Kaju tradition, yeah, Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche, he said, a mantra is not something to think about. Yeah? A mantra is something to dissolve into. So, which means that when we are reciting mantras, it's not for us to think, and then dissect the mantra. Then it doesn't work, because we are meant to dissolve into. That means our conceptual thinking has to dissolve. The meditator, so-called meditator, and the meditation, the mantra, everything must become aligned, and then there is non-duality. So wherever there is thinking, conceptual thinking, there will always be duality. So therefore we are going to free our minds from any kind of conceptual thinking. So okay, so the story of Avalokiteshvara is like this. So there's so many stories, I picked one. Okay, so according to tradition, Om Mani Padme Hum originated from Avalokiteshvara Kuan Yin, yeah, back in India, and in Tibetan we call Chenrezi, who looked upon the suffering of beings with great compassion, that he wept. So when he cried, so tears formed a lake, and from this lake grew a lotus containing a sacred mantra. So what is the whole point of this story? It's short, yeah. So this story teaches how mantras emerge from great compassion. And then today in the morning, I received a very beautiful message from one of my groups. And this message is very, very interesting. The group, my Buddhist groups. Yeah, I love belonging to Buddhist groups because I learn so much from my fellow Dharma brothers and sisters. So this morning, somebody posted. Uh, Let me just very quickly read to you the words from the Dhammapada. So the words from the Dhammapada is like this. Okay. So verse the Dhammapada chapter 8 under the thousands, yeah, verse number 100. Better than 1,000 useless words is one useful word, hearing which one attains peace. And then verse 101, better than 1,000 useless verses is one useful verse, hearing which one attains peace. And verse 102, better than reciting 100 meaningless verses is the reciting of one verse of Dhamma, hearing which one attains peace. So I think the Dhammapada verses 100, 101, 102, they summarize the entire point of the mantra. So usually we like to talk a lot, talk, 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 you know. So when we talk a lot, so basically it's idle chatter. And one of the, so right speech means that we have to refrain from lying, harsh speech, gossiping, idle chatter, right? So this fourfold, these four constitute wrong speech. So what is right speech? Telling the truth, you know, speaking good about others, and then speaking meaningfully, and then speaking very softly, kindly, you know, with inspiring words. You know, that is a Dhamma practitioner, right? So if one has got foul mouth, yeah, if one has a foul mouth and is always prone to scolding or cursing or something like this, you know, those who have foul mouth and all will be reborn in the lower realms. Yeah, so we have to be very careful our speech, no matter how we are angry we are, or no matter what the situation is, our speech must always be, you know, right, be correct. So what is correct speech? So that's why the Buddha said, you know, even in India also, like in the past also, people like to gossip, people like to, you know, slander other people, and then lying is also very common. Many things lah, you know. So people feel that you know, speech is not important. My actions are very important. As long as I don't kill, I don't steal, I don't have sexual misconduct, I don't do drugs and all these kind of things, no alcohol, I'm fine. That's not true. Speech is very important. So how to train? So that's why in the first century CE, when Mahayana Buddhism started emerging during the you know, South India and South Mahayana Buddhism, South India, around Andhra Pradesh, those days, we had many scholars, Buddhist panditas coming from South India. So then we started seeing a very interesting trend of mantra coming up. And the whole point of the mantra is to save us from talking nonsense, slandering other people, you know, to keep our mind pure. So that's why this Dhammapada words is very important. So better than 1,000 useless words that we speak every day is, you know, one useful word, hearing which one attains peace. And here I remember my teacher, Venerable Thich Nhat Hanh. The way he said it is so beautiful, you know. So certain sometimes when we care for somebody, you know, so we keep on telling them, you know, yeah, you know, we smother them with a lot of nice words, beautiful words and all, and then the words become meaningless after some time. They lack power, they lack substance. So he gave an example, my venerable teacher. He said, you know, when two people are in love, yeah, so they don't say anything. So basically, they may be holding hands in a park, going together, sitting on a bench, you know, and they never express their feelings to one another verbally. But of course, they care, you know, they do a lot of good things for each other. And then one fine day, this was written in one of Venerable's books, but I cannot remember which one. So one fine day, uh, in a in during sunset in a park with beautiful flowers, beautiful trees, beautiful green meadows, you know, and then not many people. And then the boy holds the girl's hand and says the three golden words. And this is like after knowing each other for so long and never said. He said, of course, you all know, lah, yeah, I love you. So that time the girl felt like as if uh, like a thunderstorm, like yeah, it's like what is that called? The like now, like, you know, thunderstorm, lightning. It was a lightning that, you know, it had the power to transform her, and she immediately, like, you know, like responded with tears, you know, because she never anticipated that he would ever say these three golden words, because it was those days, you know, those days people don't simply say things that they don't mean. If you say something, you have to mean it. And it took them a very long time, you know, to actually express in words. So that shows the power of words. And then also in the group this morning, I read somebody said, very interesting, yeah, what I learned from my Dhamma brothers and sisters. The power of one word, I am sorry, in when, you know, or I, you know, I forgive you. Something, it's not like I'm sorry for everything. Every 10 minutes you say sorry and then you keep on doing. No. Sometimes there's a very long family feud and then you say, after many years, then somebody comes and say, I am sorry. Very powerful. It's groundbreaking, you know, isn't it? or when you know you have done so much wrong to that person, and then you have been trying to contact that person so long to say, sorry, sorry, but then the person never forgive. Then suddenly the person says, I forgive you. It's like, I love you, I forgive you. That words mean so much, you know. So here, that's how you should understand the power of one word which attains peace. Yeah. So that's why the Buddha said, better than 1,000 useless words, 1,000 useless verses, 1,000 reciting 100 meaningless verses is reciting one verse, one word which attains peace. That's how you should understand a mantra. Mantra is like this, yeah. So every day we talk nonsense, most of us, myself included also. Yeah, it's not that I'm enlightened. So many things nonsense come out from the mouth, and sometimes we regret. So how to reduce that habitual tendency of talking nonsense? So that's why during the first century CE, the early Mahayana Buddhism days, they came up with mantras. And mantras is something not new. In ancient Indian tradition, mantras have been there. Yeah, in the Vedic tradition, Brahmanist tradition. So we think that, oh, we don't want, because it is Hindu, you know, Buddhism cannot be like Hinduism, because we are different. So we are, the followers of the Buddha. So how can we have a mantra? And our mantras also quite similar in the sense that there's a Om, and then the Hum, and then Swaha. Yeah. So it's like it sounds like we have copied everything from Brahmanism. Well, in a way, it's not entirely untrue also. The concept of mantra, because the people are already accustomed to mantra for thousands and thousands of years. So if you take the mantra away from the people of India is like you chop their hands, the- people grow up with the mantra. This their ancestral, the ancestors grew up with mantras and all. So if you chop the hands, or like if you don't give mantra to people from India, for example, then it's like alienating them from, and myself included. I'm also from, I'm also of Indian origin. I can tell you that mantras are very, very ingrained in our culture. Yeah. So so we don't have to be so like as if like when we go to the cemetery, or sometimes sometimes we see in an English movie or something like that, where you go, you see a devil, then suddenly you do like this. So it's like we hear a mantra, suddenly it's like, I don't want to hear, because it's Hinduism or something. That is strange. Yeah. So it's the intent behind it. You have to understand that the mantra is an enlightened speech, is designed to re-engineer the mind, to create new neural pathways for the mind not to talk nonsense, not to have nonsense mental chatter, and the nonsense mental chatter will translate into nonsense physical mouth, yeah, wrong speech. So that's how we have to take the mantra. Okay, so now, so there are three types of mantras basically. Yeah? One is a silent recitation. So silent recitation, that means doing mentally. So for those of us who are very expert, so we do Om Mani Padme Hum in the mind, right? So we call it ajapa japa. So which means that you don't have to physically speak it. So it helps to maintain mindfulness throughout the day. And it's very useful during daily activities. When you are working on your computer, you cannot be Om Mani Padme Hum, or or if I'm teaching, for example, my mouth is teaching students in the class. So you cannot be the mantra and my secular language cannot come out at the same time, isn't it? So, but the mantra can still be in my mind, and I'm teaching. Circular words are coming out from my mouth to teach my students, but at the same time, a mantra can be actually going inside my mind, over and over and over again, to keep my mind peaceful, calm, clear, serene, motivated, to benefit my students. So that can happen. Why not? Yeah. And it does happen if we are accustomed to doing mantra every day, and it protects the mind. It protects my mind from, you know, scolding students. It protects my mind from being mean to, others, something like that. Yeah. So then the second one is vocal. Vocal, this one everybody knows. Yeah. So you either can whisper, you can hear somebody. Sometimes people do mantra, and then sometimes Yeah, people chant it very loud. Om mani padme hum, mani padme hum, something. And when you are chanting, you synchronize it with your breath, right? So it's like a formal practice session. So you synchronize it with your breath, and also you use a mala. So this is a rosary, right? So sometimes people wonder, ask me, whenever why you have a rosary on your left hand. So this is the reason. So whenever I am, bored, nothing to do, not to say nothing to do, just waiting for something, waiting for class to start or something, the mala is in my hand. Or sometimes I feel anxious, the mala is my hand. It's an anchor. It grounds my mind in the present moment. Sometimes the breathing itself is insufficient for me sometimes. Because I'm accustomed to mantras, I train in the mantras. So the power of the mantra, the mindfulness of the mantra helps to ground my mind in something very, very wholesome. For example, Om Mani Padme Hum is a mantra of compassion. So if suddenly I feel I lack compassion, sometimes I can be upset with a lot of things. When people cheat me, people are rude to me, and all, I get very disturbed. Yeah, and it's normal. I'm not Buddha. So I take out this one, and then I do Om Mani Padme Hum Mani Padme Hum Om Mani Padme. It's 108. So this one has 108. So just continuously do Om Mani Padme Hum Mani Padme Hum Mani Padme Hum Mani Padme Hum like this. Yeah. So I think that is very, very important for you all to understand. And then let me okay. And then the third one. So some people write mantras. So writing is also something very it's a training in mindfulness. So it's actually very common in Tibetan traditions for us to write mantras. So it's like a practice in remembering mindfulness. So we write mantras, long life mantras. Sometimes we write sutras. Also, you see a lot of people they write in very beautiful calligraphy. They write sutras, and some people will write the entire Heart Sutra, and then they frame it in their houses. So why bother to do this? Is it so? What are these are not mere words. Yeah, the process. Look at ask the person who wrote the mantra. What were they thinking of when they were writing the mantra? It's not just simply writing. It has a meaning. When you are writing the mantra, you are actually very careful with the strokes because each mantra has got a special syllable, and then there's a seed syllable. So you have your om. So you write it very, very carefully, and then your mind gets absorbed in the mantra. The writing, your hand, the pen, the ink, everything becomes one, and then there's non-dualism. So this is a very interesting thing, yeah, mantra. So okay, so the key points to remember about one mantra practice is that in Vajrayana Buddhism, aka Tibetan Buddhism, it should only be received from a qualified teacher. So the teacher will provide guidance in proper pronunciation. So sometimes people ask me, whenever how to pronounce a mantra, whether I'm pronouncing correctly or not. Uh, of course, number one, the intention is more important. But then again, of course, you can't recite it very off the trajectory. Also, it has to be correct. And plus, there are some visualizations also which accompanies the mantra. So overall, the benefits of mantra is that I've mentioned just now. It helps to calm and focus the mind, so it will create positive mental imprints, yeah. And any time when you need it the most, the mantra suddenly springs up in your mind. And sometimes the mantra can go on in your dreams. The mantra is there all the time, whether you're eating, sleeping, walking, doing your work, teaching, talking to other people. The mantra is going on and on and on and on and on, yeah. And it also, the mantra is important to develop certain qualities. For example, in Vajrayana Tibetan Buddhism, Mahayana, actually, we got it actually from Mahayana, but in Vajrayana, we develop it in terms of Guru Yoga, I'm sorry, Deity Yoga, where we visualize. So there is this, behind me is Avalokiteshvara, is Kuan Yin. So if you see Kuan Yin behind me, we visualize like this: one face, four arms, lower two holding a um, uh, crystal mala and a flower, upper two holding a wish fulfilling jewel body, white in color, seated on a lotus, and moon disc, sitting in the Vajra position, wearing the 13 Samboga Kaya ornaments of a prince, body white in color, very with a deer skin on the left shoulder or left shoulder. left, right, I think it's the left shoulder. And then, so we visualize like this. And why? To ground ourselves in the present moment, to make our mind so focused. Yeah. So basically, it is mantra is actually an object of meditation. It's a kamatana. Yeah. So mantra is same as the breath. So it is something that you focus on. It's not a magical formula. Yeah. Please remember what mantra is not. So number one, treating a mantra as a magical formula and you cast spells on others is not the point of mantra. Okay. Number two, we recite without mindfulness. That means just simply, sometimes we see people talking, halfway talking can also recite mantra. Actually, that's not correct. Yeah. So if you're reciting mantra, you shouldn't talk. Yeah. So you should be focusing the mind, the mouth, the hand, everything must align. So we are not supposed to be mixing worldly conversations in our mantras. And also sometimes we say that a lot of we want to have, we're just rushing throughout the day, especially Tibetan Buddhist practitioners. We say that, oh, I have got so many mantras, I got so many gurus, so many commitments. I've got Medicine Buddha mantra to chant, Vajra Sattva to chant, Amitabha to chant, Om Mani Padme Hum to chant, Manjushri to chant, oh, Tara to chant, so many to chant. So how? So it's like, so then you do, so it's like so fast that you forgot to be mindful. So actually speaking, the point is not how many you chant. The point is the quality. So here it again says that the quality is better than the quantity. Yeah. If only we understood that. Yeah. So many of us we try to, go for the numbers. We stress ourselves out with the numbers. And then once we complete the numbers, then we become very proud. So then the ego comes up in us. Oh, numbers, numbers. So we have completed this 150,000 recitations, 1 million recitations, and then we give our names. We say that Karma children, has recited 1 million, and I make sure everybody sees that I have recited 1 million. So then the 1 million actually is, if you did not recite it with mindfulness, the 1 million doesn't matter. Even if you recite one mantra with full mindfulness is better than reciting 1 million with talking, with expectation of some kind of reward or some sort of pride that has come. If the pride arises after accomplishing a million mantras, then it is of no benefit whatsoever. Very little, probably none also, because Dharma practice is meant to reduce your ego. If the ego goes up, it's exactly the opposite. So which means that there's no benefit. So some people may disagree with me, but look at the logic. The goal of Buddhist practice, Dharma practice, is for us to reduce our self-cherishing and our self-grasping, meaning that we do not grasp at the self, because the self that is actually the root cause of all the problems, the ignorance of this self. We think that this self exists. So if we are in the process of recitation, we recite millions of mantras, all the different mantras, we finish all our commitments for the day, and then we is like, I just want to get the job done, finish my mantras. Then I go off and do something else. So basically, you're not in the present moment. Number one, forgot to be in the present moment. Number two, grasping at the future, grasping and then trying to finish it off faster. So getting stressed. And then after that, number three, pat ourselves in the back that I, Karma children, have finished my commitments for the day. So actually, I, Karma children, did not do anything other than boost up my ego, which is the antithesis of what it was supposed to be, to reduce the clinging to the self. So if the self clinging, grasping becomes higher, then my mantra was of no benefit. So this is the danger. So let me tell you that before you start the mantra meditation. So now we will do a very quick pranayama, right? And then after that we will start the mantra meditation session. So brothers and sisters, so we sit in the the meditation posture. I don't know whether you all can see me well or not. Yeah, sometimes my head is too big, sometimes my head is too small. So I get some nice feedback sometimes. So it's good to get feedback. Yeah. So put a smile on your face, block your left nostril, and then breathe in through your right nostril, and then breathing in, tell yourself, breathing in, I'm aware that I'm breathing in, and then this uh, ring finger, block your right nostril, breathing out, I'm aware that I'm breathing out, out, in, out. So this is one cycle, so breathing in and out. So alternate here. So if you don't know, just watch me. Okay, right? So that is one. So now the second round. So you tell yourself, breathing in, I'm aware that I'm breathing in, and then you block your right nostril, you breathe out through your left. Breathing out, I'm aware that I'm breathing out, and then you breathe back again through the left nostril, and then you breathe out to the right, and then you breathe back again to the right, and then you breathe out to the left. So this is complete 2 rounds. And then third round, block your left nostril again, breathing in, and then you block your right nostril with your ring finger, breathe out, and then breathe in again from the left nostril, and then breathe out. In, out. So basically, you're just playing, alternating here. So breathing in, you're aware that you're breathing in. Breathing out, you're aware that you're breathing out. In, out, in, out. Very good. So now we do. You can do as many times as you want, and it is meant to rebalance your energies. Yeah, so your negative energies and all tiredness and all to take a break from the past, the future. Drop all your worries. So now we go to phase two of pranayama. Your right hand over your left, like this, and then you put your two thumbs together, and then you tell yourself, breathing in, I'm aware that I'm breathing in. Yeah. Breathing out, I'm aware that I'm breathing out. So your shoulders relax, your spine straight. You can sit in the lotus, semi lotus, or sukhasana, the joyful position, the happy position, Burmese position. Your tongue touching the upper palate. You can choose to close your eyes or open with a smile, and then you tell yourself, you breathe in both nostrils. Breathing in, I'm aware that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I'm aware that I'm breathing out. In, out, in, out. Breathing in, I'm aware that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I'm aware that I'm breathing out. In, out, in, out. Once more. So your job is to focus on your nostril like a watchman, like a gatekeeper. So breathing in and out. So you, to the exclusion of everything else, drop the past. Past is gone, it hasn't come. Sorry, it cannot go back, you cannot change it. The future has not come. So breathe in and breathe out. No past, no future. Like dislike, just let go of all worries and anxieties and enjoy your breath. Come back to your breath. Breathing in, tell yourself, breathing in, I'm aware that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I'm aware that I'm breathing out. In, out, in, out. Wonderful. Breathing in, I'm aware that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I'm aware that I'm breathing out. In, out, in. Wonderful, perfect, yeah. So smile, so very happy. Okay, good. So now the third phase is to do the breath of fire. So breathe in, completely filling your entire cavity with air, and then you expunge, exhale 10 times, short breath. Watch me. Okay, so I breathe in very full, then I breathe out through my stomach, yeah, not the chest. I breathe out through my stomach. Okay, yeah? You all are experts already, so no need to tell. So I look at them. Okay. So you don't have to follow my pace. You can follow your own pace, your own rhythm. The idea is you breathe in, fully breathe in and push from your diaphragm here. You push the air out, not from here, but from here. You push the air out, and then short, short breath 10 times and just relax and enjoy. Yeah. So I will do a little bit more than 10 to give you some time to do your own. So you can try another 1 or 2 rounds. This is very important. You must take some time on your own. Please proceed. One more time. Okay. So now we do the last part of the pranayama. So you sit in this position again, and then you breathe in, and then you exhale very forcefully, and you can even uh, sigh, heave a heavy sigh of relief. You could do it more than 3 times if you want to. So the number of times and the pace is entirely up to you. So the idea is to put a smile on your face, reconnect with your breath, rest in your breath, and then let go of all the past, future, like, dislike, negative energies, and ground your mind in the present moment. Breathing in, you know you're breathing in. Breathing out, you know you're breathing out. Okay? Very good. So now, right. So now I just wanted you to draw some parallels to uh, traditional uh, sorry, Buddhism, which is the early Buddhism. Do you know the story of Angulimala, isn't it? So the Angulimala Parita. Now, can you tell me why Angulimala Parita is very important? And what is it used for? So usually when a woman is about to give birth or has difficulty, giving birth, they will ask the monks to recite, Sangha to recite Angulimala Parita. Yes. So because in ancient times, when Angulimala one day he was walking, and then he saw one lady who was in distress, on a I think a cow, what they call that, a cart or something like that. So she was having great difficulty. So he also didn't know what to do. So he said that the best that he can do is just wish for the mother and child to be safe. So he said that, ever since becoming an arahant, I have never harmed a single living being. because he was a murderer in the before he became an arahant, right? And ever since joining the sangha, sorry, ever since joining the sangha, becoming a bhikkhu, I've not harmed a single living being. So by the power of this truth, may mother and child be safe. And lo and behold, she really was safe, and the child came out. It was a very complicated birth. So today, traditionally in Buddhist countries, Theravada Buddhist countries especially, yeah, this parita is very, 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 very popular and very, very important also to recite. Now, who can tell me why this parita is important? As in, like, what is the what was it in the parita that caused this mother and child to be safe? Because of the merits, yes. So because of the merits of the person who was reciting it, the good intention of the person who is reciting it, right? And also because, yeah, because the words have so much power, because it is the truth. So it is the truth. So mantras also actually are basically can consider the speech aspect of enlightened beings. So if you want to understand it, so they contain the essence of the Buddha's teachings in seed form. It's very difficult for us to really understand it, but it's just like those three words I told you, very powerful. So sometimes like nuclear energy, so you nuclear energy, just a small little atom can contain so much energy. So it's just one seed syllable in a mantra can contain so much energy because it's actually the enlightened essence. So if you can understand, sometimes in just a small little intention, very, very deep, in a small little act, sorry, but with a very deep intention. So one act of merit, there was one lady in the past, she was lighting a lamp, for the Buddha. She had no, nothing at all, no money whatsoever, So I don't know how she lighted the lamp. She was begging. She was, and she got few coins. And that because she saw the review, so she went and got oil with it, and her cloth piece that dropped into the all made into big. Okay. She did. Right. Yeah. So Venerable is telling me, Venerable Dr. Tenzin Sonamomo said that in the past there was this beggar lady. She was begging and begging, and then she was seeing a lot of people offering the lambs, to the Buddha. And her heart, she wanted to offer, but she had no money. So with a little bit of coins that she got from begging, she bought some oil, and then with her rags, she tore part of her dress, and then she made a wig, and then she offered, and that and everybody, everybody's lamp extinguished, but her lamp went on for days and days and days and days, and the Buddha said that this lady's lamp cannot be extinguished because of her very, very deep and sincere motivation to offer to the Buddha. So that's how you should understand mantra. So the mantra contains very, very deep aspirations, enlightened energy, everything compact into a few words, usually six syllables. Yeah. So they work. And how do mantras work? Mantras work on our subtle energy. So subtle energy means we actually have got our astral body, our subtle body. It actually works to reduce the negative things. And each mantra, each deity, for example, Tara reduces fear, for example. And then Avalokiteshvara, Kuan Yin generates compassion. Amitabha, we recite Buddha Amitabha, Namo Amitabha, Namo Amitabha, Namo Amitabha for, to help others and ourselves to be reborn in Pure Land of Buddha Amitabha. It means that to attain a good rebirth. Whether there's a Pure Land or not, it's immaterial. The important thing is what is our state of mind when we die, because that last thought is going to determine where we are going to be reborn, right? So then medicine Buddha, when somebody is sick, we recite medicine Buddha. And those sounds, you ask people, and see when we recite the mantra, you ask people who actually are very sick or who are frightened and all, or any one of you have ever listened to a mantra before being recited, how soothing the mantra is. And why is a mantra soothing? Have you ever thought about it before? Because they are not merely words, yeah, but vibrations of an enlightened mind. And when recited by those who have bodhicitta, meaning they have a lot of love and compassion for other sentient beings, the vibrations become greater and greater and greater. So for those people who want to work on a certain quality, I want to be more compassionate, I recite Kuan Yin. If I want to, help to reduce my negativities, my mental defilements, so I recite medicine Buddha, because it's the sickness of my mind and the physical and mental sickness of myself and others. Something like this. So mantras must not be chanted for, selfish purposes, like to make money, or, nowadays it has become a bit of a business. You give me money, I chant for you. No such thing. Yeah. So, no giving money to people and to get chanting, because that is no longer a pure motivation. If you would like to offer later, that is a different story. But it cannot offer somebody, I give you money and then you pray for me. It's like, asking you to become enlightened for me lah. So you give me, what they call that, the dharma, transfer the dharma into my brain so that I become enlightened. We can't do that. The Buddha said we cannot wash somebody else's sins, and neither can I make somebody else enlightened, but I can just merely show the way. So mantra is also not a magic formula. Mantra is just a short form of the essence of the enlightened energy, the teachings of all the Buddha, in uh, word form, in syllable form. Yeah. So now, can we start practicing? So we will start practicing. Okay. So let me just. So now, everybody, put your right hand over your left hand, and I will take you through the most basic mantra. Can anybody guess what mantra I'm going to start with? Hmm? That one is second. First, I will start with Buddho. 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 So basically, this is the mantra that is used by Thai forest monks. Buddho. Buddho. And I believe that you all know that Ajahn Brahm also, when he used to, he teaches, yeah. So he sometimes also tells the students, Buddho, 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 Buddho. So what is Buddho, Buddho? So if you say that there is no mantra in Theravada Buddhism, that's not true. Yeah, Buddho, Buddho, Buddho is also a mantra. Yeah. So what does it mean? It's actually just the name of the Buddha. So Namo Amitabha. So Namo Amitabha. Amitabha is the Buddha of the Western Pure Land, the Buddha of infinite bliss. Yeah, infinite light. Sorry. So let's start. So breathing in, you're breathing in. Breathing out, you're breathing out. And then when you breathe in, you tell yourself, no need to uh, verbalize it. But if you want to, you can also. Buddho. So breathing in is Bud, breathing out is Do. So it's actually just the name of the Buddha. Buddho. Buddho. So for 5 minutes, we will. So it has to be conjoined with the breath. It cannot be separated from the breath. So when you recite the mantra of Buddho, Buddho, your mind, the breath, your tongue, the words Buddho, Buddho, all become in one perfect harmony. Let's start. Breathing in, Bud. Breathing out, Do. Bud, 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 Do. So please continue. Bud, Do. Verbalizing it at the beginning, I think, is good. If you can verbalize it, then later you don't need to verbalize anymore. And I want you to notice the changes that happen in your mind and your body, whether you feel any sensation, any joy, Any kind of feeling, where does it arise, where does it not arise, where does it arise, how it arises, how you feel when you recite Buddha, how focused are you or not focused, what problems arise, everything you note, okay? So once again, Buddha, 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 Buddha. So when you are reciting this, don't stop reciting and don't stop verbalizing. When you are verbalizing and you're reciting, focus on your breath. Forget about the past. The future hasn't come. Whatever that you are grasping at, just let go. Gently bring your mind back to your breath if your mind has wandered. And just like counting meditation, you say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So Buddha has the same effect, but this is better than a number because it is the Buddha's name. So it is very meritorious. So we are remembering the Buddha is like Buddhanusmriti, Buddhanusati through mantra recitation. Buddha, 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 Buddha. Follow your own rhythm. Don't have to follow mine. Tell it. Verbalize. Buddha. Breathing in is Buddha. Breathing out. Buddha. Buddha. Whatever sound, smell, taste, whatever comes to your mind, whatever sensations, release, let go, gently bring your mind back to your breath and tell yourself, Buddha, 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 Buddha. Note anything arising in your mind, any sensation, any peace, calmness, irritation. Continue your Buddha and at the same time note and don't forget your breath. Conjoin the mantra of Buddha with your breath. Buddha, Buddha. Focus on your breath at the tip of your nostril. Buddha, 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 Buddha. Keep on verbalizing it for 5 minutes. Yeah. Buddha. Train your mind to verbalize it and then silence and just in your mind. Buddha, 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 Buddha. Once you're used to it, you can stop verbalizing and just focus on the breath and internally recite Buddha, 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 and see what is the difference. When you verbalize and you don't verbalize, is there a difference? And if you don't chant Buddha, you just observe your breath without any mantra, is there a difference in the level of your concentration? What changes happen in your mind and body when you recite? Any changes? Please note. So if your mind has wandered away into the 10 directions, you forgot the Buddha, suddenly something else you're reciting, new mental chatter starts coming up, quickly start verbalizing again. Buddha, Buddha. It means you're not ready yet, yeah? Or you're not fully concentrated, so verbalize it. Buddha, Buddha, Buddha. And when you feel comfortable and focused, stop verbalizing and in your mind, just recite Buddha. So learn how to switch on and switch off according to your own mind. So if you start seeing the Buddha or you start recollecting the Buddha, no need to cling, no need to attach to the Buddha. Just acknowledge the Buddha is there and then just leave it, let go. Come back to your breath. Don't get excited. The Buddha has appeared under the Bodhi tree in front of you. That's not the point. The point is don't let your mind wander. Just focus on the mantra and focus on your breath. Good. You start seeing lights, colors, or suddenly lotuses spring up. You start to see the whole pure land. Just release, let go, because we are not doing visualization yet. So no need to worry too much. Just focus your mind on your breath and tell yourself, Bud, to, Bud, to, Bud, to. If suddenly we start to feel special, that we are starting to see Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, that's the time the ego is rising. And we are not like becoming Buddhas, we are actually solidifying the ego at that time. Drop it. So, according to Zen proverb, there's a Zen saying, That if you see the Buddha in your meditation, kill the Buddha. It doesn't mean kill the Buddha, yeah. I'm going to get very bad karma for saying this, yeah. But I'm just repeating the Quran, yeah. It means delete the Buddha from your visualizations. Kill that thought, which means that don't latch onto that thought because it's just a thought, and that thought will prop up our ego, and then we become very smug, and then we start to think that we are great meditators and all. That's not the point. We must become very humble. Our job here is to lose the ego, let go of any kind of clinging to self and phenomena. Just release. Our job is not to pick up and start to solidify the ego. So whatever appears, if we think that we are special, then it's the wrong path. So both the come back to Buddha and come back and be very, very, very mindful of your breath. Buddha, mindful of the mantra, and in great humility, just let go of any concept, the past, the future, the self. There's no meditator, there's no meditation. It's just a process. Buddha, Buddha, the Buddha can come teach you. You can visualize yourself as five. Suddenly you start thinking that you're Kondanya or whatever it is. Drop it. Naturally, let go. No need to kill it physically. And no need to stop it. Control. No need to be averse to any thought. Just say that this is a distraction. These are just displays of my mind, because we have general tendencies to want to cling on to something nice and to prop up our egos, because we think we're special. Nothing special when we see light. Nothing special when we see lotuses. Nothing special. But what is special is your ability to focus on one point. Would focus. And then when your mind doesn't wander off into the 10 directions, no past, no future, no like, no dislike. You're just in the present moment. The experience of the present moment is a special one. Not the lights, not the Buddhas you see, not role playing as somebody. Suddenly you become something else. There's nothing to become. There's no I at the moment. Drop it, yeah. Just leave it. Don't interfere with the meditation. If you become something, that's not the point. So, Buddha. So please continue. Buddha, Buddha, Buddha. Just be very simple. Simplify the meditation. Buddha. No past, no future, no like, no dislike. There's no one meditating, there's no meditator, there's no meditation, there's no mantra, no breath, no nothing. Just is just let rest. Just rest in the vast spaciousness of your breath and your mind. Work to enjoy the bliss of not clinging to anything. The moment you let go, that is the specialty. Okay, so very good. So thank you for that wonderful, uh, cooperation that you are given. How do you feel? How is Buddha? Anyone feel good? Okay. Hmm? Can concentrate. So can you tell me whether there's a difference between when you use the mantra and when you don't? Whether there's any difference or not? Does the mantra help you?
Yes, when we don't use the mantra, the conceptual thoughts comes,
Mm,
focus is less.
okay.
The concentration is more with the mantra.
So the audience here, the participants, the meditators here are telling me that when they use the mantra, the conceptual thoughts do not clash. They reduce the conceptual thoughts when they are doing the mantra. So the mantra neutralizes the conceptual thoughts, and then whenever,
Concentration high.
so the concentration becomes greater focus, greater focus. So I don't know about the rest of you. If you have any experiences you want to share, you can type in Yeah. If you have any questions, also you can. So now uh, we go into the second part. So the second part is if you have a mala, it will be good. But if you don't have a mala, it's also okay. You just have to, sorry, what, how to say, verbalize it, yeah. So the mala is actually very useful for concentration. The mala is not here to show off that I'm a meditator. Okay, the mala is not here to show off that I'm a monk or sangha or whatever it is. The mala is here whenever I need it. I can immediately grab it and then I will ground myself into present moment. This is actually a tool, is one of the tools to make the mind peaceful and tranquil, like a first aid kit for me. Walking first aid kit is my mala. It's nothing. It's not a fashion statement. It's not a statement that I'm some sort of a holy person. It's just a tool for this monkey mind of mine because I need it. Yeah, other people who are enlightened don't need malas. Yeah, but people like me need it because I find it very useful for my mind. Yeah, so that shows what kind of a weak practitioner I am, what kind of weak mind that I have, that I need these kinds of things, but I need it, and it's okay. I'm telling you, I need it because I do. Yeah, if it's going to help me and it's going to help others, what shame is there in it? So I just need it. So back to the, if you're coming from some other spiritual tradition, for example, from the Sikh tradition, for example. So the from my, many of my family, most of my family are from the Sikh tradition, and also many friends of mine, and from other spiritual traditions also. Whatever they, so you have, sometimes you've got very short mantras. Like here we did Buddha, Buddha. So in Sikhism we have Waheguru, Waheguru. So how to recite Waheguru? Like this. So you recite Wah Gru. So Wah is breathe in and Gru is
Yes.
out. Wah in and Gru out. Wah in, Guru out. And what is Waheguru? Waheguru is also like Buddha. It's actually
Yes.
a one word to describe the entire universe actually.
Universe.
So basically entire universe in the Sikh tradition, it is to describe the creator, right? But
Yes.
actually it may not necessarily be the intent of the founders of Sikhism to talk about, to limit it to a creator, but basically it's talking about the enlightened energy. So the enlightened energy is in this one mantra, Waheguru, Waheguru. Just like the Buddha is an enlightened being, so we represent all the Buddhas combined together, the enlightened energy, Buddho, Buddho. So Waheguru, 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 Waheguru. So actually, it is the entire enlightened energy, in, out. So this is called Nam Simran. So you're remembering the Nam, the Simran, it goes on here, you're remembering, and here is Nam Japna. So your Jap means to recite. So Nam Japna together with Nam Simran to remember. So you're remembering the enlightened energy and at the same time uttering the seed syllable of the enlightened energy, and then grounding yourself and focusing to develop your mindfulness, concentration, and to, get all the good qualities, the wholesome qualities. Any questions? Yeah. So okay, so now we go to the the actual practice of Avalokiteshvara. So how many of you are confused? Still okay? Still okay? Not confused yet? So actually it's quite fun, yeah. So like I always say meditation is fun. If you think meditation is some journey that you're going to go somewhere where you need to be so sulky, so serious and all, then I think better not meditate. Then better go and laugh in the garden. So like, it's just like, basically, um, meditation should be approached as something that uplifts the human spirit, not in the form of extra senses, but the upliftment comes from within here, the fountain of happiness, everlasting happiness, joy, bliss comes from here. How to tap into that fountain is to chill. Be yourself. No need to be somebody else. No need to compete with some other people. No need to judge. Don't worry. Be happy. There is some wisdom in that modern phrase, don't worry, be happy. So I sometimes see meditators too serious. So too serious, too mindful, too slow sometimes become, then they get samadhi headache. So some when you get samadhi headache, you know that your guitar, your violin string, yeah, the venerable Sona. So he was, the was a Veena player in the past. The Buddha said you cannot be too tight, cannot be too loose. So you have to be just right. So when meditators tend to be very, very, very uptight, so stiff, so we feel that everything is samsara. Samsara is so scary. I want to come out, so I must be sulking and I will be miserable. Then you will be miserable. I'm sorry to say. Yeah? So, so approach meditation with kindness to yourself because we are trying. If we are going to be sad and all, we are creating this domanasa, this unwholesomeness. Yeah, so it's actually rooted in hatred. Yeah, so guilt, misery, all this dullness and all. If we are going to meditate with a lot of misery, too serious, then we start to become very judgmental of other people who are happy in their meditation. So let's open up a little bit, loosen up a little bit, happy, happy, not in a mindless way, but happy in a very, um, very mindful way. And then that's how the enlightened energy will flow. The Dharma will flow in a person who lets go of all concepts. So the meditator does not have to be this. A meditator does not have to be that. The meditator just has to relax. And if it is your personality to laugh, relax, be happy and all, be it. But if your personality is to be a little bit serious, also okay lah. But you don't have to be a happy from a very happy, joyful person, be a very miserable one just because you want to meditate. That's not the point. Okay, now let's. Okay, so now mantra of Om Mani Padme Hum. So Om. So let me tell you what is Om Mani Padme Hum. Just very quickly. So Om, like I mentioned just now, Avalokiteshvara Kuan Yin has witnessed a lot of samsaric suffering. So cry, and then after that, the lotus form, and then the mantra came out, and then Om Mani Padme Hum. So each tear manifested as a being of compassion. So this essence of this compassion is crystallized into 6 syllables. And what are the 6 syllables? Om, Ma, Ni, Pat, Me, Hum. So Om is we can say it's actually corresponds to one all the 6 syllables corresponds to one of the realms in samsara. So Om corresponds with the God realm, Ma corresponds with the Asura realm, Ni corresponds with the human realm, Pad corresponds with the animal realm, Me, hungry ghost realm, and Hung is the hell realm. Okay, so there are other ways of looking at the Om Mani Padme Hum also. So let me very quickly whip up, yeah, because offhand I cannot remember what is this Om Mani Padme Hum. Of course, we recite it every day, but doesn't mean that we 100% can tell you what it is at all times. Yeah. So okay, so here we are. So Om actually, so each syllable purifies a specific klesha. Klesha means an afflictive emotion, a mental poison, yeah? So your mental affliction. So Om purifies pride, yeah? And pride and God realm is, so when you actually have pride in your mind, so most of us, when if we pass away with pride in our minds, we actually really end up becoming devas, yeah? So jealousy, so the second one, Ma is jealousy, corresponds with the Asura realm, jealous beings. So Ni is desire. So this is the desire realm. So born as a human being, got a lot of passion, desire, but is ignorance, delusion, born as animal realm. So greed is the Preta, hungry ghost, and then the Hung, hatred, is the what is that called? The hell realm beings. So Om purifies ego, pride. Ma purifies jealousy. Ni purifies desire, which is our realm. Ni, human realm. Pad purifies ignorance. Me purifies greed, and then Hum purifies aversion, which means hatred. So Om Mani Padme Hum purifies six different types of pleasures. So shall we try? Can we do that one time? So what to do? So now please, once again, sit in meditation posture. If you have a mala, please take it out. Okay. So now I will guide you through the Om Mani Padme Hum. So you can use music, yeah, as in like a tune. So many people like me, I used to play music when I was young, and I like singing, as you know, right? Sangha supposedly don't sing, but in Tibetan tradition, we have some singing sanghas also, like Anichuing, Roma, and all. But we don't simply sing nonsense, sing the Dharma songs, yeah. So Tibetan tradition is a little bit different in the sense that we use our habitual tendencies and put it on the path to enlightenment, to benefit others, and at the same time to orientate our mind. Yeah, it's not a form of clinging, but it's a form of skillful means to connect to the Dharma. So you can use the traditional tune. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Like this, yeah. So Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. But before we do that, I want to, guide you first before the we do any kind of this what is that music, yeah. So we do Om Mani Padme Hum. Okay, want to do? So let's see. Yeah. Okay. So Om, inhale. Mani Padme, you hold, and then Hum, you exhale. Okay. So it's like this. Om Mani Padme, you hold, and then Hum, you exhale. So Om Mani Padme, you hold, and then exhale. So Om, inhale. Mani Padme, you hold, and then Hum, exhale. So I will do. So one beat is one full Om Mani Padme Hum, yeah? Not one syllable. One beat is not Om Mani Padme Hum, not like that. One beat is Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. So we try one formula first, see whether it resonates with you. Then later we go to the full one. So Om, inhale. Mani Padme, you hold, and then Hum, you exhale. Om, inhale. Mani Padme Hum, you hold. Oh, sorry, Mani Padme, you hold. Hum, you exhale. Om, you inhale. Mani Padme, you hold, and Hum, exhale. Om, inhale. Mani Padme you hold, and then Hum exhale. So can we do that on your own? I just recite Om Mani Padme Hum. You will should know what to do. Inhale, hold, and then exhale. Om Mani Padme. 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 Don't forget the breath. Focus only on the breath. No need to think of Kuan Yin or anything like that. Just focus on the breath with the mantra. Later you can think of Kuan Yin. But if Kuan Yin does come, then never mind. Om Mani Padme. Now we are training you with the breath. Om Mani Padme. Om Mani Padme. Om Mani Padme. Om Mani Padme. But if Kuan Yin does come, then just ignore. No need to attach. The vision of Kuan Yin, if comes, leave it. Yeah. Om Mani Padme. 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 Om Om Mani Padme. 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 So please continue until you finish 108 if you have a mala. So I will also continue. I will recite and you'll continue. Om Mani Padme. 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 So Om inhale, Mani Padme hold, and then Hum exhale. Om Mani Padme. 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. So you can verbalize it, and when you're expert, you can actually non-verbalize it also. Okay, so a little bit extra about Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, the Om is as in any other mantra that comes with the Om, is actually a combination of three sounds: A, U, and Ma. So A, in the Tibetan tradition, I mean, in the when you look at the chakras and all, A actually corresponds with uh, here A, U, and Ma. So here, white, red, and blue. Usually we visualize, yeah, the syllable Om is white, then A red, and then Hu is blue. So sorry, A Uma. So A Uma. Sorry, A U and Ma. So white, red, and blue, and then we merge it together. It becomes Om. 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 It's the A Uma. Okay. So Om. Yeah. Thank you, Venerable. Forgot to tell that A Uma represents body, speech, and mind. So this body, speech, and mind. A, U, Ma. So Om. So Om Vajra Sapta Hom, Om Beza Satu Samaya Manupalaya, Om Ame Deva Hri, Om anything, Om, A, U, Ma. Om. Yeah? Yeah. So Ma is, we can say it's like, when you pronounce the Om, you can imagine the three sounds, O, A, U, Ma. And then Ma is, you're opening your mouth, clear and open. And then Ni is short and clear. Om Ma Ni. And then Pad is clear and with the Pad. And then May is open again your mouth, May. And then Hung goes very deep inside. So it's like you can feel the vibration, Om Mani Padme Hum. When it comes to Hum, it becomes very low and it's very deep. Yeah. So you can see the different syllables, how they have different vibrations and they have different meanings. And then each syllable is actually representing, one realm. And then when we do our sadhanas on Avalokiteshvara, Kuan Yin, Chenrezi, same, yeah. So when we do our sadhanas, our liturgical text, for those brothers and sisters who don't know, so when we recite our sadhanas, when we visualize, that we are doing Om Mani Padme Hum, we are actually saying that due to the power of anger, beings are born in the hell realm, you know. So may they be reborn in the pure land of this Potala. Potala is the pure land of Chenrezi, Avalokiteshvara. So then, Om Mani Padme Hum. Then, due to the power of jealousy, the beings are born as asuras. So we recite this mantra, we release them, May they be reborn in the Potala. May they be reborn in the pure land of Amitabha also sometimes we say. So due to the power of, uh, you know, basically desire, so then beings are born in the as human. So due to, and then we recite Om Mani Padme Hum, and then everybody becomes Avalokiteshvara. So due to the power of this one, uh, ignorance, yeah, delusion, beings are born as animals. So, Om Mani Padme Hum, may they be born, in the pure lands. Due to the power of greed, yeah, grasping greed, then beings are born in the Preta realm without food and drink. So then we send the vibrations of Om Mani Padme Hum. May they be reborn in the pure land of Avalokiteshvara, like that Potala, or pure land of Buddha Amitabha also, because Buddha Amitabha is actually the, on Avalokiteshvara's head, yeah? You can see every time. Buddha Amitabha is always there. And then also due to the power of anger, so beings are born in the uh, hell realm. So Om Mani Padme Hum. And then the beings completely purify their karma from the hell realm, reborn in Potala. So that's how we add meaning to the mantra. The mantra is not simply just reciting for fun, yeah. It's actually generating compassion. So if we have that ability to generate the compassion, Om, you can think of, the beings in the Deva realm also stuck there. When their karma exhausts, because through the power of pride, they are born as Devas. When their karma exhausts, they will drop, yeah, into the lower realms. So Ma, Om, to you send to the Devas. good thoughts, yeah, Om. And then Ma, you send to the Asura. Asura also born out of jealousy, born as Asura. So then you send Ma. So Ni, then you send to the human realm, because we are here also, we have to work, where endlessly have to work, running after one thing and another. So because of our desires never ending, we are stuck here. So then because of the power of ignorance and stupidity, beings are born in the animal realm. So we send the mantra, the loving kindness, the energy. It's like metta meditation is exactly the same as metta, but in the form of mantra, we send the mantra to the animals. And then in the form of, so when we say pad, sorry, om mani, om mani pad, we send to the, what is that called, animals. May, we send to the pretas, this om mani padme hum, because may is the sixth syllable for the jealousy, sorry, what is that called, greed. And then hum, the anger. So Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, we visualize all the mantra completely purifying all living beings in the six realms. So that is how, one of the ways we practice Kuan Yin, Avalokiteshvara, Chenrezi. So don't worry about whether you can visualize Chenrezi correctly or not. So with the good heart that you understand what the mantra means, you understand each and every syllable is actually to purify the afflictions in our own minds, from purifies pride, purifies jealousy, purifies desire, purifies ignorance and delusion, purifies greed, purifies anger. Sooner or later, all these negativities will completely be eradicated from our minds. Yeah, so it's very important. So now we are going to do with wonderful sound. So the next few minutes until the end, we will practice the way that we all practice in Mahayana tradition with our traditional sound. And this tune is very, very uplifting. And when you are reciting this full 108, we are going to do. When we recite this mala 108, we are dedicating it to all beings. Yeah, think of all the beings in the six realms, the gods, god realm, the asuras, the human realm, the animal realm, the pretas, and the hell realm beings, and then send our loving kindness to them. So conjoin this practice with loving kindness. So, but still focus on your breath, but at the same time now, you can actually send your loving energy, in the form of white light to all living beings. And now, if you can visualize Chenrezi, Avalokiteshvara. If in the Tibetan tradition, one face four arms, upper two holding a wish fulfilling jewel, the lower two holding a crystal mala and a lotus flower, seated in the Vajra posture, wearing the 13 Sambhogakaya ornaments of a prince, body white in color like a conch shell, very pure, with the deer skin on the left shoulder. And then in the heart center, you can visualize a lotus on a moon disk. On top is the syllable Hri, the sixth syllable of compassion. And then you visualize the mantra in Tibetan, Om Mani Padme Hum, or in Sanskrit, whatever that you can. Or for those of you who don't know, just send loving kindness to all living beings and use the mantra to generate compassion in you. Yeah, can we do that? And for those of us who are more familiar with the feminine aspect of Kuan Yin, so you can evoke the feminine aspect of Kuan Yin also. So Mother Kuan Yin, the vase, yeah, and then wearing the beautiful robes, having very beautiful eyes, looking at compassion with all living beings, and then the water coming up from the vase, yeah, water of compassion, to help all sentient beings purify their kleshas. And what are the kleshas? Om Mani Padme Hum. Right? So to honor Kuan Yin on her birthday on Tuesday, so we will all together recite 108 times Om Mani Padme Hum, and and for the benefit of all living beings, we will start. Dieu que nge ma ge ko to ka zo tang ge ke u la gen tu je jen ge tro la ze chen re zi la cha sa lo Dieu que nge ma ge ko to ka Zo tsange ke ulage tuje jenge tola zi chenre zila chat salo jure ge mage kodaka. Zo tsange ke ulage tuje jenge tola zi chenre zila chat salo. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Om Mani mani padme hum. Om 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 mani padme hum. So now think that all sentient beings have been transformed into Kuan Yin, Avalokiteshvara Chenrezig, through the power of your good intentions, your bodhicitta, and the blessings of the mantra which contains the enlightened energy of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the three times and 10 directions, the enlightened mantra. The vibrations goes into the whole world and completely purifies all living beings, and all living beings are completely transformed into enlightened beings, transformed into Kuan Yin, and this whole of samsara is completely empty. All beings have been transformed. All sounds are the six-syllable mantra, and we are in the pure land of Chenrezig. All beings have become Chenrezig Kuan Yin. All sounds are Avalokiteshvara's mantra, Om Mani Padme Hum, and the entire universe, wherever that we are, the whole world has transformed into the pure land of Buddha. Sorry, Chenrezig. And then we dedicate the merits for all sentient beings to be free from harm, free from danger, free from mental, physical suffering. May all sentient beings quickly transcend this very dangerous and vicious cycle of samsara and become liberated and become fully enlightened beings. Give Adi Nyurduda Chenreziwa Drujune Drova Chicha Maleba Day Sala goodbye show. By this merits, may I attain the state of Kuan Yin, Chenrezi, Avalokiteshvara. May I lead all sentient beings to attain this state instantaneously and easily. So, just a little more and then we will finish. So, we will do the full dedication very quickly. So, I just wanted to ask you how you feel after doing the Chenrezi uh, meditation. Is mantra useful for you? It helps to stir your heart and it helps to reduce cruelty, reduce unkindness, rudeness, arrogance, yeah, and become a more humble and compassionate person. It is very, very important. So remember that mantras should be received properly from qualified teachers. And I have today, in a way, disseminated this mantra because I have received from many, many teachers, from His Holiness the Dalai Lama, His Holiness the Karmapa, and many, many, many other masters, my own preceptor, Khenchen Trangul Rinpoche, and all many, many other masters. So whatever that I have recited today um, is from authentic masters. It's not my own. So whatever little benefit that you get is not from me, but it's from all the gurus, and ultimately from Buddha Shakyamuni. So would like to share with you some quotes here. So basically, according to Buddha, Guru Padma Sambhava, uh, who brought Buddhism to Tibet, Guru Padma Sambhava said that mantra is the essence of enlightened speech manifesting as sound. So I hope that you can feel the vibration of this enlightened speech when you were reciting Om Mani Padme Hum. And from the He Vajra Tantra, it is said that the nature of mantra is like space, inseparable from wisdom and compassion. And Dilgo Khyentse Rinpoche said that the mantra is not separate from the mind of the Buddha, and the mind of the Buddha is not separate from the mantra. And my guru, Lama Zopa Rinpoche, said, reciting a mantra is not just the repetition of sounds. It's not simply saying something, yeah? It is the union of method and wisdom. That means bodhicitta and emptiness. So Dunjom Rinpoche said something very interesting also. The mantra should arise from silence and dissolve back into silence. So understand all these, that the mantra is not any simple words, meaningless words. Mantra contains enlightened energy, sounds. So please treat it with respect and do not disparage the recitation of mantra from any spiritual tradition, whether it be Buddhist or Hinduism or any other spiritual tradition that there is today in this world. Please treat it with respect whenever you see anybody reciting mantra or hear, or whether you see any mantras anywhere pasted on the walls. Please treat it with utmost respect as it is the essence of enlightened energy and it is the core belief of many, many beings on this earth. And mantras transcend religious labels. With, if the intention is rooted in bodhicitta, loving kindness and compassion, the mantra becomes a vehicle for enlightenment. There is no label, Buddhist, non-Buddhist, all this is entirely the workings of your own mind. If your mind is pure and you're reciting it with mindfulness, full concentration, loving kindness and compassion to benefit numberless sentient beings, then the mantra you recite becomes a cause for enlightenment. If you are reciting the mantra to harm somebody else or to gain worldly benefit, because some people say Om Mani Padme Hum, but it's like Om Mani coming home, Om Mani coming home, Om Mani coming home. With selfish desires for worldly gain, then that will limit your spiritual potential and will be reborn again and again in the cycle of samsara. So, with this, I take your leave and we will dedicate the merits. Okay. Oh, one more segment I forgot. Yeah. So how do you know you're progressing in your practice? So if you have increased concentration, increased mental stability, and suddenly when you sleep, the mantra comes in your mind, or when you're walking, sitting, sleeping, doing your job, the mantra comes in your mind, then you know that you're progressing. Yeah, automatically it just comes. It becomes a second nature to you. You have habituated your mind and created new neural pathways. Then you know you're progressing. And also, if you are developing specific qualities that are associated with the mantra, you become more compassionate, more kind, and then more in touch with your own reality, and more in touch with other people's suffering and your own. That is sign of progress, non-judgmental, and you become grounded, and you don't panic so fast, less fear, less anxiety, less hatred, less jealousy, less delusions, less attachment, less greed. All these things become lesser and lesser. You're progressing. Yeah. So, so next week we will do deity yoga. So deity yoga is we will do Avalokiteshvara Chenrezi, and I want to give a glimpse of this practice to my friends from other traditions also, so that they understand what Tibetan Buddhism is. Yeah, it's, and also you can use because Om Mani Padme Hum Avalokiteshvara is a safe, and also we will do Buddha Shakyamuni, Tayata Om Muni Muni Mahamunaya Swaha. So these are the two very safe ones. Yeah, and you have received more or less an auto transmission in the form of my transmission to you, the guided meditation. So we will do very basic deity yoga, just especially for practitioners of Tibetan Buddhism, Mahayana Buddhism, and for my other brothers and sisters. It's good for you all to understand, uh, how your brothers and sisters in the Tibetan tradition practice, and why it is important for us to practice in this way, and what benefits. We are not just simply having, like praying to external entities and asking them to save us. It's a very, very profound, skillful means in Tibetan Buddhism. And I'm not trying to promote Tibetan Buddhism, but I'm trying to bridge the gap between all the spiritual traditions, and also within the three traditions of Buddhism, so that there is to correct a lot of misunderstanding regarding Tibetan Buddhism. Yeah. So to give you an idea as to how Tibetan Buddhist practitioners practice, and even at some point in time you will start to understand that deity yoga is also shamatha meditation, but a different kind of shamatha meditation. So with this, we dedicate the merit. Sorry for taking so much of your time, but this time is so limited. Our lives are so short. A few extra minutes of Dhamma practice goes a long way. For all the time that we waste in samsara, try running to the kitchen, wanting to eat, wanting to do this, wanting to do that, a couple of extra minutes together with the Buddha Dharma is a blessing, yeah, that not many people can enjoy. So we dedicate to all living beings, that they be liberated from the ocean of birth, old age, sickness, and death. Sunam di tam chi zik pa ni top ni pe dranam pam ji ni ke ga na chi ba la drupa ni si pe to le dro wa sho Jampe pa wo jitara kien pa dan kun tu zampo de yan de shin de da kun gi jesu da lo jingi wa di da tam che rab tu mo du sun shepe Gyawa tamche Gingwa gala chodu ngapadi Dagi give Tawadi kun Chanzang po juji Rabdo wai ge wa kun to yanda lama dan rame chue ke pela lon chue ji sada lam je yuen ten la zo ne do je chang ge go fa nyu to sho sang ge ku su nye pe jin la dan chi ni min ju re de pe jin la dan ge de mi je de pe jin la gi je ta ra ngong wa mon lan ro pa re sho pa dem cha we lama rim pu ji Dagi chivu pime den shula kadrin chivu gune jizun te kusun to ge ngudru sadus padela me nampara tharpala kiche samya lota mi keshin chize le para tumbe me ge lame jilla semla jo pare sho lama ku kamzan la solwade chotu kuche rila solwade trile dashi gela sowade lama dandra me par jingielo Chasel wadan jiji shapa dan jisu yiran kushin so wa ye ge wa junze da ge je sapa tam che zo pe jan jo je ngo wo jan jo sim jo rimpo je ma ke pa nam ke jure je ke pa nya pa me pa yang go ne gondo pe wa re sho Tunyi tawa rinpoche make panam ke jure che ke pa nyam pa me pa ya gune gondo pe wa re shori nye tawa rinpoche make panam ke jure che ke pa nyam pa me pa ya gune gondo pe wa re sho jo pa tse me rinpoche make panam ke jure che ke pa nyam pa me pa ya gune gondo pe wa sho May all beings be happy. May all beings be happy. May all beings be happy. Sabbe Sattva Bhavantu Sukhi Tata. Thank you, brothers and sisters. Signing off now. Take good care and see you next Sunday.